Hello and welcome to the Relevance of Now with William Linville. My name is Michael Connell and I'm here with William. Good morning, William. And today's topic, you wanted to address letting go with love. You're experiencing a number of people that are experiencing this in their life stream and
Yeah.
having different reactions to it, or maybe different stages that they're going through it. And when it comes to letting go with love, how best can you start with this topic in assisting us?
Well, when you let go, you hear that phrase so much, especially in the born again enlightenment communities. Well, just let go, let go, to where there's that point where it's like you're trying to let go of control because you're being challenged with perceivably being out of control. But you're actually letting go when you can let go in love the situation or the person and all the situations when you can really say, okay, hey, man, whatever floats your boat. This is where we get into a place from you as creator fully embodying that presence of yourself to where you're letting go with no animosity. So it's kind of like having dear ones in your life stream that you like, you love, you enjoy, but then you're letting everyone do whatever they do whenever they do it. Sometimes vibratorily, your vibratory levels are increasing and increasing, and tiny little spats break out. Now, it's where you really get to see it from a vibratory standpoint, where, okay, I haven't done anything. I'm sharing the same thing I've shared 8 months ago, but now I'm presenting the same words, but in a much higher octave. In others, they're creating spats. They're trying to create spats. They're trying to create issues, or they're trying to find fault with yourself. And it's like, good, great, more power to you. But at that point, you start to realize that the spats aren't real. They're not true. They're true for the other person. But how best can we hold them in the palm of your hand or in your heart, loving them for who they are, rather than buying into all of the word games and on and on and on, where you can really just step back, take a breath, and honor vibratorily. They're creating all these constructs and conflicts. Most 99.9% of them are not really factually true about you, but where you start to become more and more realized that vibratorily they're wanting to pull you in, but they're wanting to go into hiding and trying to make you something you're not to their comfort level. And when they're trying to do that, it's like where you're not jumping through the hoops, you're not jumping this way, that way, the other way, but where you're very, very clear that, okay, I see right now that just my presence alone is threatening for them. But then you start to realize, and you start to even ask, all right, big guns, take command, let this unfold as quickly as I can handle for my highest and best good. I'm asking for resolution from the way things have been. And from there, everything is coming up into the limelight to see, be seen, to be exposed for yourself, to be able to love them, embrace them, but honor them as well as honoring yourself from where you're at and where you're letting it literally start to trickle, break away, dissolve of all of its energy and constructs, where within yourself what they're saying is not quite accurate from where you're coming from, but where you can bless it and bless them without building more resentment, without saying, okay, I'm out of here, blah, 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 but becoming okay with unplugging, going direct, unplugging, and allowing for yourself to move forward. But then, it's kind of cool because they may move out of your life stream, and that's fine. It's simple, it's easy. Well, I say it's simple, it's divinely orchestrated. It's not always easy, but where you can see it, bless it, and be able to be and feel very, very complete within and through yourself and very whole within yourself, that now there's no longer a need to hang on, play tug of war, blah, blah, blah. And it's not a threat to your ego. It's not a threat to your issues. But where from here, it's like, okay, I've been here, done that. But where by not even a word from yourself, you start watching it collapse, dissolve, and move out of your live stream, but also take into account that it's not happening where you're going to sit there lacking of this, lacking of that. If anything, you're actually opening up to more love and more enjoyment to come into your live stream.
Breaking down a little bit of what you were sharing. So letting go with love is a higher level state of consciousness of yourself, knowing yourself, experiencing yourself as creator incarnate. And so as a dear one is going through these situations that you were mentioning, you were saying it's not easy. Is it not easy because we're not quite at the higher state of consciousness of ourselves as creator incarnate? Is that why it's not easy and we're moving towards that?
Well, what makes it not easy is when you're identified, so powerfully identified to it that, put it in my words, you start wondering subconsciously, sometimes even consciously, but very rarely consciously, you're wondering whom or what will I be without this? I'll use an example, like the old will family monad, the mother, brother, sister, partner, offsprings, on and on and on, where the door is always open to them. No door's ever been slammed, but where they had elected to be and play where they were at. Now, they kept trying and throwing out fiery cannonballs on and on and on of how I should become smaller, play into the dichotomy, play into all the issues that they were struggling with, and how it was my job to be the referee. It was my job to come to the rescue. It was my job, blah, 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 blah. Now, that's what they wanted, but it's not who I am. I'm not a referee. I didn't come in with a black and white striped shirt, pants, or whatever. But when I elected to no longer be a part of being the referee, being the coming and saving them from themselves, and when I went well beyond picking a side, like anti the mom, pro the sister, or anti the mom, pro the brother, or anti everyone, pro the partner, pro all this other stuff. Well, when I was sharing with love what they could do to resolve this, and without picking a side, none of them really liked that. When I was assisting the children to move forward, looking broadly at the whole universe entirely, well, they still wanted to go into, well, no, it's got to be like this, it's got to be like that, it's got to be like blah, 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 and you have to be a this, you got to be a that. It doesn't matter if you're enjoying it or not, it doesn't matter if it is conducive, complementary or not, you just have to be this over there, that over there. And it became so overly complicated because they were so identified with winner losers, the one that was going to come in, save everyone from themselves. But that's where we get into some really funky ground, Michael, because there was no one to save. I did not see a victim. I did not see a victimizer. I saw divinity right in front of me. By not playing the game, it really pushed me out of being, like what the ego's like is to be the star of the show. I didn't gain any brownie points by any means, but at the same time, I was letting everyone have their journey from where they're at, not becoming the savior, not becoming the referee, not becoming XYZ of all the constantly changing definitions. And it was like, well, guys, tell you what, I love you. Give me a call if and when you feel like it, or a call to. But I cannot any longer, out of love for you, nor love for myself, be constantly in the middle of your discourse. But then, as soon as I stepped out of the middle, the ex-partner found a new partner that, what I have to say, is 1,000 times better than I could ever be for what she wanted them to be. So I set her free to love, but also to her emotional conflicts. And it was no longer on me to be the rescuer, the this, that, or the other. And it was no longer on me to try to make her different, because she's perfect as she is. Same with the little one, same with the rest of the family mode. They are absolutely divinely, perfectly right where they're wanting to be. And who am I to make them any less? Who am I to try to change them? Because I see divinity right in front of me, regardless of what pains they go through, regardless of what they're wanting to hold on to, regardless of how they want things to be. I see divinity right in front of me. But with that, once again, it was not like you're winning any trophies. It's that I was loved them enough to let them be the love that they are right where they're at, without being a constant challenge for them.
And what I heard you describe is letting go with love, that there was a linear time frame where all this in the circumstances of the relationships played itself out and it wasn't working,
Yeah.
meaning there was a lot of discord, which many of us, all of us, experience in all our different relationships. And so you were stepping through that, you were offering assistance. This is what it sounds like. And at some point, there was a time to move on, letting go with love. It doesn't always mean that letting go with love means moving away from the relationship, right?
And it also doesn't mean that they're showing you love. It means you are the love that you are.
And so in your situation, it was complementary for all to step away. But other relationships, uh, you could still be in the relationship and be letting go with love as well. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, because in that relationship, it was awesome. I was there for many, many years, getting out of the wheelchair, on and on and on. Something totally separate from being in the dynamic. But you see, the biggest thing is one day I woke up and it was Sananda who said, okay, well, now it's time to begin your journey, Master Will. And it was like, okay, show me what it looks like. That afternoon, a couple came over and they offered me a room for it. And I was like, okay, cool, bring it on. Now, was it something I was contemplating, and was it something I was planning? Was it an ulterior motive agenda? Of course not. I just assumed, okay, we'll just be here forever and we'll just continue to assist everyone, because I had it one-on-one with each and every one of that family monad. And they are perfectly right where they're at and right where they're willing to go. And that's fine. I didn't see it as broken. I didn't see it as healthy. I didn't try to put and project boxes upon them. What was working for them was working for them. And hey, I wish you only the best, and namaste, have a blast. But then when I got that message from Sananda, it was, okay, now it's time to start your journey. I was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but okay, I'm an open door of unconditional love, which no man can shut. So show me. Sure enough, physically, the opportunity came right before me in the physical world. Now, there's a major difference here. Was I taking that door to run away? No. Was I taking that door because I had to escape to be all myself, blah, blah, blah? No. It was one of the hardest doors I've ever walked through, which was to say namaste and let everyone be where they were at. Was it planned? Was it premeditated? None of the above.
That's a really important distinction I hear.
It wasn't trying to run from it because I'm all that in a bag of chips, because that's not true. Let me do my finger snaps. Okay. Because it wasn't true. I don't consider myself more than, I don't consider myself less than.
Yeah, that's really powerful about this topic of letting go with love.
So important, Michael, because you're not building a false pedestal for yourself.
And can you talk about the process that dear ones go through when it might be magnetic, but they feel in their heart this connection, and it's confusing to move away from it?
Yeah, but that's it goes back to what I was just sharing. Choice is of the head, not of the heart. So people are in dynamics that can feel the love and awesome, awesome, be there, enjoy it, embrace it, until you start having to hold on to that so tightly because of the behaviors of others.
Mm.
If you're being mistreated, you're being mistreated. That's not rocket science. So how do you deserve to be treated?
So during this time, what I've heard from dear ones is they feel this strong heart connection. How do they separate themselves from a dear one when they still feel that?
By feeling it, letting it totally overtake you, letting that heart connection and that love totally embrace you. Hold that state. Don't squeeze on it. Just put it in the palm of your hand. Enjoy that love that you feel.
Mm.
Then asking yourself, it's okay. Your ones are having the best bad day possible. That is human error, if you will. And that's great. Namaste, have a blast, more power to them. But when the best bad day possible becomes 35 years, then you may want to take a breath, feel that love still. But now you have to also shift that around to loving yourself. And
Mm.
with loving yourself right now, do you deserve to be treated that way?
Wonderful.
Twice, three times in error because they're having the best bad day possible. Yeah, let's have some compassion on and on. But when it becomes a day-to-day thing, now we may want to step back, still love them with all of our heart, but now let's love you with more than all of your heart.
That's the powerful part, is making sure that we're also loving ourselves while we're loving them. And the clarity comes to a dear one that, okay, I can love myself, I can love them, and I can move on.
And that's okay. And you give yourself permission to not any longer be treated that way. And on the opposite side, I also want you to honor you're actually loving them more by walking away in those moments because they don't feel good about the way they're treating you anyways. And there's that fine line between honoring yourself or supporting their best bad day possible for the last 35 years. There's that fine line of when you give into it, now you're supporting their behaviors. You're not assisting them to arise into something different. And the catch here and the key is being able to use that discernment before you get downtrodden and build resentment, anger, frustration, guilt, blah, 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 blah. You don't have the power to hurt anyone. They have the power to take your behaviors any way they so choose.
Mm. Wow. That is really wonderful, Will, and really super clear to assist us all in the transition of moving towards our higher level of consciousness, which is, feeling true love for ourselves and all others, and some of the perceived difficulty, navigating some of the perceived difficulty of getting to that place of letting go with love.
To where you take to yourself and within yourself as kind of like I'd use it as a range for yourself of understanding. How much can you accept, not internalize, but how far can you go in that love before something triggers or pulls you into you experiencing something less than love? That's when you find out within yourself. I know analytically, okay, well, we got married. Okay, this happened, that happened. Okay, we have kids. Okay, we got a family. And the hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper. But to simplify it, regardless of the paperwork, why would you be sitting there experiencing or receiving anything less than love? Regardless of analytically, okay, it was supposed to be this way. Now we grow old, we get buried in the same coffin. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We have all these plans. But what about when we reach a point where now I'm experiencing pain, which is not an attribute of love? I'm experiencing beaten down, downtroddenness, whatever it may be for yourself personally. Until we say, okay, now I am important enough within my own divinity to allow myself to receive love, not harshness, regardless of what the outside world looks like. Skip finances, skip your comfort zones. Universally speaking, you are love, therefore you will experience love, therefore you emanate love. You receive love in all ways, shapes, and forms, relationships, finances, opportunities, on and on and on. So what's holding you hostage from not allowing yourself to receive that love? And that's a personal dynamic, because it's only going to continue until you personally, as creator incarnate, say enough. It's not about them. It's about what are you willing to receive in your life stream.
Love it. Thank you, William.
That's a heart game, analytical game.
And in my experience, everything you're sharing is really about loving ourselves, lets us have the clarity, and in all ways, if it presents, letting go with love.
Exactly. Because when you're letting go, I want to be clear with you, you're also letting yourself receive.
Thank you, William, and thank you all for joining us. This is The Relevance of Now with William Linville. Join us next time. Namaste.
Namaste.